Today marks exactly 1 month since the beginning of a new and bloodiest war in the history of the Palestinian-Israeli clashes. At the same time, even American military experts, who do not hide their pro-Israeli views, recognize the fact that the Israel Defense Forces will get bogged down in this conflict for many months, and even years. As an example, experts cite the battle for the city of Mosul, where the U.S. Army and its allies were bogged down for many months, suffering heavy losses in manpower and heavy equipment. Meanwhile, representatives of Israel Defense Forces are refusing to give details about the ground operation in the Gaza Strip, periodically only reporting that Israeli forces managed to destroy some Hamas commanders. In order to preserve manpower and protect heavy equipment from direct clashes in narrow city streets, the Israeli military leadership decided to carry out indiscriminate airstrikes on densely populated Gaza, using artillery systems as well. The IDF General Staff hoped that this tactic would not only save the Israeli army from heavy losses in manpower and heavy equipment, but also exhaust Hamas combat units. However, this tactic of the Israeli High Military Command not only did not lead to the desired results, but also caused a humanitarian catastrophe in the Gaza Strip, completely destroying Israel's reputation around the world. According to preliminary data, more than 10,000 children have already died in the Gaza Strip, due to the actions of the Israel Defense Forces. At the same time, it is worth noting that the reputation of the United States in the international arena also suffers from Israel's actions. More and more countries of the world began to accuse the United States of not only supporting but also approving of the genocide of the Palestinian people. Blind support for Israel has made Washington complicit in these terrible events, taking the lives of dozens of civilians. Even UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres, despite his pro-Western position, could not close his eyes to the thousands of deaths of women and children in the Gaza Strip. According to him, Israeli strikes on hospitals, kindergartens, schools, residential buildings, and ambulance columns are a real war crime. Israel has no moral right to strike at these civilian facilities, even if Hamas militants are hiding there, Antonio Guterres said. Meanwhile, even Israeli experts were forced to admit that the Israel Defense Forces, during the entire so-called anti-terrorist operation, could not inflict tangible damage on Hamas. Hamas militants continue their fierce resistance, skillfully using dense urban sprawls. Moreover, the IDF was not even able to take control of the settlement of Khan Yunis. It is reported that Hamas militants managed to destroy the advancing formations of the Israeli army on the outskirts of this settlement. Commenting on what is happening, military experts admit that the Israel Defense Forces are very weak for victory in urban conditions. According to military expert and Islamic scholar Carlo Caro, even the machine guns of Israeli soldiers are not adapted for fighting in urban conditions. According to him, Hamas militants armed with AK-47 machine guns have already shown high effectiveness against the Israel Defense Forces. The fact is that bullets from AK-47 easily penetrate the walls of urban buildings, while the 5.56mm machine guns of Israeli soldiers are not able to penetrate even light armor. Thus, it becomes clear that even despite the unprecedented support from the United States, Israel will not be able to win a landslide victory in the Gaza Strip. Experts are confident that the real problems of the Israel Defense Forces are still ahead, and that a full-scale ground assault on Gaza itself will lead to horrific losses among soldiers and officers of the Israeli army.